So do you want me to? Want me to? So do you want me to? Want me to?
Hey unicorns, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Leslie and I'm all about self-love, whether it's mental, spiritual, or physical. And today I'm here with another Makeup Monday video for you guys. If you didn't see my first one, I'm doing a series where I'm explaining every sort of type of makeup, how to apply it, things like that. So today we're going to be talking about concealer. And if you really like what you see, if you want to see more makeup videos, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that way you can see all my crazy videos, whether I'm talking about makeup, hair, or if I'm just being crazy, all right? So, alright, so let me just say, please excuse my eyeshadow for this morning because honestly, I was just trying out a new eyeshadow palette and it is straight trash. So I want you to ignore all this up here, what's happening, but I do want to get into, you know, a little bit more information about concealer. So there are multiple ways to apply concealer. There's people who apply concealer under the foundation. There's people who put concealer over the foundation. And there's people who put concealer for fine lines. There's so many different ways to apply concealer. But for today, since this is for beginners, I'm going to show you the way I put on concealer most of the time, and also just explain to you what the differences are between why you're applying or what color you're getting or whatever the case is. So let's go back in history. Back in the day, before makeup went cray-cray, I'm always rhyming, what can I say? So basically, back in the day, concealer used to be applied underneath the foundation. That was kind of the go-to, and you're doing it to get rid of all the marks that you don't like. So if you have a pimple or if you had dark under eyes or anything like that, that's what the concealer was for. But nowadays, people have color correctors, and there's the orange and the red and the green. There's just so much going on. But what typically concealer is used now for is for like highlight. Is to highlight the areas that are already bright. That's what I'm going to be showing you today. I'm going to explain to you what type of concealer you can get, my suggestions of what you should get if you're just starting out, and then my suggestion on how to apply it, okay? So one of my favorite concealers that are a drugstore is the Maybelline Age Rewind. It actually looks different. I've had mine for so long. Okay. So, this is my favorite drugstore one. It's about $8. And then my favorite luxury concealer is the Fenty concealer. So, now if you're concerned about what concealer color to get, there's multiple ways. It depends on what you're trying to do. So, some people, maybe a beginner makeup person, would want to stick with a concealer that is the same color as their foundation because they just want one full regular look. They just want to look clean, clear. They're not worried about highlight. They're not worried about you know, contour. They're just like, I just want to make sure that my skin is completely even, and that is perfectly fine. The really cool thing about Fenty is that when you go pick up a foundation, the same shade in the foundation will be the same shade that you are in a concealer, and the numbers will be the same. So this one's 350, right? So my foundation color, if I was the shade, would be 350 as well. But the problem is that I like my concealer for highlighting purposes, so I always go like a shade lighter. I usually follow the color on my wrist. As you can see, the color on my face is different from the color of my wrist, and that's kind of how I pick my concealer color. However, you don't have to do that. You can just perfectly find a concealer color that matches the shade of your skin if you're just looking to make it simple. If you're really starting, you don't even need a concealer to start off. You can just do a foundation. That is completely fine. But if you are trying to get a little bit crazy, why not do a concealer? So for me, I don't really have any issues with my skin as far as me covering things. And I'm not one of those people that if I do have a pimple, I feel a need to cover it. But if you are trying to cover something, or if you're trying to conceal something, I would suggest putting the concealer underneath your foundation, and basically you would just dot it on a spot or wherever the case is that you would want to cover up, and then you would let that sit for a bit, and then you would go ahead and put the foundation on top, and then it would pretty much will cover it. But foundation has gone so far that you don't even need a concealer to cover. There's so many full coverage foundations that if you get the right one, you don't even have to worry about concealing underneath. But if you're using it for highlighting purposes, then that's a different story. So if you're looking at my face right now, you can see that I already have a foundation on my face. And this is how I always, for the most part, put on concealer, unless I'm trying to do like a J.Lo look. So J.Lo, they contour underneath the foundation. Me, I like to contour on top of the foundation most of the time, unless I'm really going crazy with contour, then I'll conceal underneath. But right now, since this is what I do majority of the time, this is what I'm gonna show you. Most concealers have like an applicator, so you don't have to worry about having a brush, including this one. This one you kind of just spin and all the concealer will come out, and you could just put it on your eye in a triangles area, and I'm going to show you that right now, what I mean by triangle. Okay, so I'm going to open up my concealer. My mirror is down here. All right, this is what like most applicators look like. Okay, and I don't, where my eyelid folds or my eye folds, I don't put concealer there. As you can see, I have a shadow there. So I'm gonna do it underneath that line. Everybody has like that line underneath their eye. I kind of just do it underneath there. So I'm gonna do a triangle starting at my nose and right underneath that line, and then I'm gonna make a triangle down. This is what I do. And then I kind of just flip it over, do it on the other side, and triangle down. All right, and then what I'll do sometimes is I'll grab a little bit more concealer and I will put it on my nose, but I only put like a little bit on my nose. Like I do a really light layer. Like you'll see that I'm not going as hard on my nose. And then sometimes I will do a triangle on my forehead, which I wouldn't suggest if you are just getting started with makeup, because you don't want to feel uncomfortable. So this is what I would do if I were a beginner, okay? Now, when you have all the concealer on your face, this is usually as much as I would put. There's two ways that you could apply it. You can apply it with your fingers, and most beginner people probably won't have like a full set of makeup brushes. So I'm going to show you how I would apply it with my finger. You just take it and you just tap it. And I always do it like a line on my nose. I always do that, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend it out with my finger. Now, if I did not have eyeshadow on my eyes already, I would usually take what I put on the triangle and like spread it over my eyelid as well. But as you can see, I already have eyeshadow on, so. And I like to do that because it's like a little base for my eyeshadow if you're gonna be doing eyeshadow. But yeah, you could just apply it with your fingers. As you can see, I'm dabbing. I'm not like really wiping it. I'm swiping it a little bit to move it, but not that much. All right, you see that? And then the way I usually put on my concealer is I actually use a beauty blender. I use like the pointy side. This is a lot easier. Same way. It just spreads the concealer out a little bit more. I already got it underneath my eye by accident, so. As you can see, the beauty blender works a lot faster. That's probably why it's very popular to do it like that. And they also have smaller beauty blenders as well if you're like not good. Like I put eyeshadow underneath my eye and I kind of messed it up because I wasn't really paying attention. I'm gonna take it off anyway, but all right. And then I'm gonna take the butt of my beauty blender and do the same thing on my nose, just lightly tap. Why is my nose running? All right, and then I'm gonna take the butt again and just make sure that I have everything spread out. All right, so that is how you apply concealer. If you're wondering why concealer is applied in those areas, if you think of it like this, with or without concealer, where does the light hit your face the most? It hits your face right here, and then right here. So you're basically just highlighting the same places that are already highlighted naturally. If you're trying to change the shape of your face, I mean, go for it. I don't do it like that. I'm literally just following my natural beauty that God gave to me, and I'm just highlighting those areas that are already highlighted, and it just gives it a different dimension, you know. So with me, I'm very much like, I want to look more like a princess than I want to look like a supermodel, so I'm not really into like all that contour stuff, but I will do a video on how I contour. But this, my friends, is how I apply concealer. If you have any questions, please comment below. I feel like this was a really fast video. I went pretty quickly, but I think it was very self-explanatory that you can use your hands, you can use a beauty blender, and basically how to find a shade is to either match your foundation or just go a shade lighter, okay? So I love you, unicorns, so much, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can see my next Makeup Monday video. And then this Wednesday is gonna be Wash Day Wednesday, and Friday will be Freestyle Friday. All right, I love you guys. Enjoy your day.